Hello everyone. In the previous class, we discussed about factorization in Gaussian integer set. Now, today we're going to discuss factorization in polynomial rings. We know that the collection of all polynomials over R is an integral domain whenever R is an integral domain. And in fact, if this is a field, if R is a field, then R of X is a Euclidean domain. And also we know that if R is a U of D, then R of X is also U of D. Now, let us start with polynomial rings over a field. First, we are going to discuss a lemma. Let F be a field, and if f of x and g of x are any two polynomials and g of x is a non-zero polynomial, then there exists unique polynomials q of x and r of x and f of x such that f of x can be written as g of x into q of x plus r of x, where either r of x is 0 or degree of r of x is less than degree of g of x. Now, let's prove this one. Here, our f of x may be a 0 polynomial or a non-zero polynomial. So, suppose if f of x is 0, or if degree of f of x is less than degree of g of x, then by choosing q of x as 0, that is quotient as 0 and remainder as f of x itself, then we can write f of x is equal to g of x into q of x plus r of x, with r of x is either r of x is f of x, which is whose degree is less than g of x. So we are satisfied the condition 1. That's why let us assume that degree of f of x is n, which is greater than degree of g of x, which is equal to m. So here your n is greater than m. And let us assume that f of x is a polynomial of the form a0 plus a1x etc. up to a(n)x to the power of n, and g of x equal to b0 plus b1x etc. up to bmx to the power of m, where the leading coefficients an and bm are non-zero. Because if they are 0, the degree reduces. Here we know that degree of f of x is n, so there must be element containing power of x as n, and here there should be a number which contains x to the power of m, because degree of g of x is m. And now let's prove this result by induction on degree of f of x. We know the degree of f of x is n. Suppose that degree of f of x is, say, 0, then we knew that our f of x should be a constant, and we know that degree of f of x is greater than degree of g of x. So let us assume g of x is a constant in here for the time being. Degree of g of x is also constant. Then one is satisfied by taking q of x as a into b inverse and r of x equal to 0, because you know your g of x is b and this is a into b inverse. Since it is since our f is a field, we can apply commutative law and we can write this one as a into b inverse into b. So b into b inverse is 1, so you will get a, and r of x is 0, so a plus 0 is a only. That is our f of x. Therefore, by the result is true. Now, by mathematical induction, assume that this result is true up to the polynomials which are of degree less than n. And let's prove this one. Assume that f1 of x equal to f of x minus an into bm x to the power of n minus m into g of x. That means what we are doing is we are dividing f of x by some g of x, and we are assuming this is our quotient and this is our remainder. Now you should note here that the degree of f1 of x may be either 0, because remainder is 0, and degree of remainder must be less than degree of dividend. So that is what we are having, two situations. One, f1 of x may be 0, or degree of f1 of x is less than degree of g of x. Now we'll see what happens to these cases. Suppose if f1 of x is 0, So this is 0. Straight away send this one to this side. Therefore, your f of x will be equal to simply n into bm x to the power of n minus m into g of x plus 0. Assume this is our q of x and this is our r of x. So we have expressed f of x as g of x into q of x plus r of x, where r of x is 0. Therefore, 1 is satisfied. So in this case, our result is true. Now suppose if f1 of x is non-zero, then degree of f1 of x should be less than degree of f of x. And we know by induction hypothesis, for all the polynomials which are of degree less than n, the result is true. Since your degree of f1 of x is less than degree of f of x, that is n, so by induction hypothesis, there exist polynomials q1 of x and r1 of x such that f1 of x can be written as g of x into q1 of x plus r1 of x, where r1 of x is 0 or degree of r1 of x is less than degree of g of x. Now, you should note that your from this result, what is your f1 of x? Your f1 of x is this. Therefore, f of x is, send this one to this side, you will get f of x equal to f1 of x plus an into bm x to the power of n minus m into g of x. But we know that f1 of x is what? f1 of x is g of x into q1 of x plus r1 of x. Substitute this. In these two, take g of x outside. You will get q1 of x plus an into bm x to the power of n minus m into g of x plus r1 of x. Now we knew that here r1 of x is 0 or degree of r1 of x is less than degree of g of x. Therefore, if you assume this is your q of x, then this is of the form f of x equal to q of x into g of x plus r of x, where r of x is r1 of x. So this is of equation 1 form, and only thing we have to show r of x is 0 or degree of r of x is less than degree of g of x. Now here we should note that r1 of x is either 0 or degree of r1 of x is degree of less than degree of g of x. But your r1 of x is r of x. Therefore, r of x is 0 or degree of r of x is less than degree of g of x. Therefore, all the conditions of equation 1 are satisfied. So hence, in all the case, we have proved that there exist polynomials q of x and r of x in f of x satisfying equation 1. Now here, it remains to prove that this representation is unique. That is, there exist unique polynomials q of x and r of x such that this, okay. Let's prove that q of x and r of x are unique. How? Assume that there exists q dash of x and r dash of x in f of x which satisfy equation 1. That is, f of x equal to g of x into q of x plus r of x, as well as f of x equal to g of x into q dash of x plus r dash of x. But since these two are equal, send one of them to this side and this one to this side, you will get this. Now here, this may be 0 or non-zero. Suppose if this is non-zero, that is r dash of x minus r of x is not equal to 0, then degree of r dash of x minus r of x is equal to degree of this. But degree of this is nothing but degree of g of x plus degree of this. So sum of the degrees is greater than or equal to degree of one of them, because degree is non-negative. Obviously, this is greater than or equal to degree of one of these. So greater than or equal to degree of g of x. So you are getting degree of r dash of x minus r of x is greater than or equal to degree of g of x, which is not true, because degree of r dash of x is itself less than degree of g of x, and degree of r of x is also less than degree of g of x, and this number is a number which is less than r dash of x, because you are removing some element, r of x from this r dash of x, so which is obviously less than r dash of x, and degree of r dash of x is itself is less than degree of g of x. Therefore, degree of this should be less than degree of g of x, but we are getting a contradiction. Hence, this contradiction says that our assumption is wrong. What was that? R dash of x minus r of x is not equal to 0 is wrong. Therefore, it should be equal to 0. If this becomes 0, r dash of x will be equal to r of x. That means we have shown r dash of x and r of x are one and the same. If this is 0, then product of these two should be equal to 0. But these two are polynomials in f of x and your f is a field. Therefore, f of x is a integral domain. We know that in an integral domain, product of two elements becomes 0 only if one of them is 0. That implies that either g of x is 0 or this is 0. But in the beginning itself, we have assumed that our g of x will never be a 0 polynomial. It is non-zero. Therefore, our g of x is non-zero. Since g of x is non-zero, this has to be 0. If this is 0, then q of x equal to q dash of x. Hence, we have proved the uniqueness, and this proves the lemma. Now let's move on to next theorem. Suppose if f is a field, then we have to show that the polynomial ring f of x is an Euclidean domain. We knew the definition of an Euclidean domain. An integral domain R is said to be an Euclidean domain if there is a positive, integer valued function d, which is non-negative, and d of ab is greater than or equal to d of a, and it satisfies division algorithm. If these three conditions are satisfied for that ring, then we say R is a Euclidean domain. So here they are given f is a field, and we know that f of x is an integral domain. So we are having an integral domain. No need to prove that it is an integral domain. Only thing we have to construct a Euclidean function d satisfying all those three conditions of Euclidean domain. Let us define d of f of x as degree of f of x for any non-zero polynomial f of x belongs to f of x. So we know that degree is always greater than or equal to 0. Therefore, d of f of x is greater than or equal to 0 for all f of x not equal to 0. That is the first condition of Euclidean domain. Now, suppose if f of x and g of x are two non-zero polynomials over an integral domain, then degree of f of x into g of x, we know that this is nothing but degree of f of x plus degree of g of x. This is sum of degree of two polynomials, which is obviously greater than or equal to degree of one polynomial. So degree of f of x into g of x is greater than or equal to degree of f of x. But since these are non-zero polynomials, we know that degree of f of x into g of x can be written as by this d of f of x into g of x greater than or equal to d into d of f of x. So this proves the second condition of Euclidean domain. Now, by the above lemma, d, that is a degree function, satisfies the third condition, that is division algorithm. This itself is the division algorithm condition. Therefore, by the above lemma, third condition of Euclidean domain is satisfied. Hence, f of x is an Euclidean domain. The corollary. If f is a field, then we have to show that f of x is a principal ideal domain and hence a unique factorization domain. We knew that every Euclidean domain is a principal ideal domain and hence a unique factorization domain. Just now we proved that f of x is if f is a field, then we have proved f of x is a Euclidean domain. So if it is an Euclidean domain, then it is principal ideal domain and hence a unique factorization domain. This proves the result. Now, there is another corollary. If f is a field, then any two polynomials f of x and g of x have a GCD. Say, if h of x is the GCD of these two, then h of x can be written as linear combination of these two for any two polynomials lambda x and mu of x belongs to f of x. Further, h of x can be obtained by successive division. This is very simple because in the earlier result itself, we have proved that if D is the GCD of A and B, then D can be written as linear combination of A and B. If it is a Euclidean domain, then by that result, since f of x is a Euclidean domain, we can write a h of x, which is a GCD of f of x and g of x as linear combination of this. And we have proved another result on Euclidean domain. The same can be applied for h of x here. So that this completes the proof of this corollary. Now, remark, in the polynomial ring f of x, the irreducible elements and prime elements are one and the same. But only thing, we call the polynomials as irreducible polynomials. Say for example this x square plus 1 is irreducible over r of x, but it is reducible in c of x. because it is a complex polynomial. Here it is a real polynomial. Now, after this, we had given the proposition. The units of f of x are precisely the units of f excluded 0. Any polynomial f of x belongs to this is irreducible if and only if divisors are of the form a or a into some polynomial f of x where a is not equal to 0. See, for example, here x square plus 1. Here the divisors of this is 1 or 1 into x square plus 1. That is of this form. And consequently, f of x is reducible if and only if f of x can be written as product f of x equal to g of x into h of x, where degree of g of x into h of x is less than degree of f of x. This is what the example for that. We have written x square plus 1 as x plus I into x minus I. If this is your f of x, we have written this one as g of x into h of x, which are polynomials over C, and degree of this is 1, which is less than degree of f of x. Degree of this one is also less than degree of f of x. So you can prove this one very easily. Now, then next proposition is every ideal of f of x is a principal ideal, and further the maximal ideals of f of x are generated by irreducible polynomials. In particular, f of x is irreducible if and only if f of x by principal ideal f of x is a field. You prove this proposition also. This is very simple. You show that you take one ideal I from f of x and show that it is a principal ideal generated by some polynomial, say f of x. And further, the maximal ideals of f of x are generated by irreducible polynomial. Take a irreducible take a irreducible polynomial f of x by principal ideal x and show that it is a field. That's it. This completes the proof. I'd given some exercise. You go through that and do it. And we had given a generalization of this problem. If f of x is irreducible in Zp of x such the degree of f of x is n, then this is a field with p to the power of n elements. Thank you.